Hey guys, I am in the mood to read, so we're gonna see how many books we can read for this week. I'm very much in the mood for fantasy and maybe some thrillers. Yeah. All right, let's go. Okay. Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett Sinclair. This is book 2 of the Blood and Battle series, I believe. So this is about Isolde. I called her Essa because I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly, and Adrian. So Adrian is a vampire and Isolde is this girl from a different land. So in this book, their story grows and it's all about her becoming coronated queen, and it's all about the test of time of their relationship to see if she truly trusts Adrian. Book 2 was actually, I absolutely loved book 1, and book 2 is a little bit of a drag. I felt like half of it was like information there, but I think also maybe because I was tired. But I found that reading little chunks of this was actually really interesting. Towards the end, I was kind of like, oh, what is she gonna do about that now? And oh, I think that's what's gonna happen in book 3. So a lot of guesswork came in, and I like that because I read a lot of thrillers and mysteries, and for me to know what's going to happen the first 20-30% into the book, I lose interest. With this one, it was more, it is a fantasy, obviously, a romantasy, and I'm not really into vampires. I don't like vampires, but this is the first vampire series that I'm actually reading, and very close to fae fantasies. So it's not too gross, because there's some vampire stuff I was like, I'm not digging with that. I mean, some parts in here I was like not too bad, but I think it's because I've got an ick for vampire thing. Like, it's not my vibe. I don't like that. But something about Scarlett's writing that keeps me very intrigued and engaged in the book. So I read this one in about 3 days. So I can't wait. I can't wait for book 3. I don't know if she's started writing it. I think I googled, and book 3 is going to be coming out in January next year, and I literally went, oh no, next year. And my husband came out and says, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, this book 3 coming out next year. And he's like, oh, like, doesn't get it. But obviously I enjoyed it enough that to know that book 3 I actually highlighted. Okay, so I want to read you some of the highlighted parts. God, this light is making me blind. So on page 225, I never fought the future, but I fought it with him, because I knew that if we came together, we would only ruin the world. But when I looked at him, no words left my mouth, and I understood that we were inevitable. Slowly, he kissed me. That I don't know, that something about that is important, very, like, I don't know, it spoke to me. And then another one, words denote healed trauma, she said. Then tell me how I heal this. You don't. You love me through the fear, even when my doubt hurts. And I will do the same for you. Scarlett, where do you come up with this stuff? This looks like life experience right there. And I think I highlighted something else. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think I just had my highlighters close to me and I just went through that. But yeah, those 2 quotes really stood out to me. So I'm like, I need to get my highlighter and I need to highlight this for future reference. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. So that's book 1 for the week. It was a good ride. And Scarlett, girl, you gotta speed this up, because we want to know. And all the other characters from Persephone and Hermes and Hades and who else is there? Oh, what about the other ones that adopted a kid? I want that couple. Anyways. Finish this book. Am I missing something? It's 265 pages. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's 265 pages, right? I thought I'm gonna fly through it. Took me forever to read this book. First of all. Second of all, she's an assassin, he captures her, then they mates, and then they get married. What? Did I miss something here? Like, I'm literally reading the back of the book. I'm like, okay, I just felt this book is not bad. I'm definitely gonna get book 2. But I just felt like everything just happened. Like, they just skipped all the parts. And I think that was the whole point, because most of fantasy books, like romantasy, would be you'll have this, but in between each little scenes, you'll have something extra. So a bit of a banter, a bit more action, a bit more twists, like a bit more information of how they've become what they've become. But this one, I feel like it skipped through all of that. But it's not a bad thing, because I actually like stuff like that. But I just feel like it wasn't connected
properly. Like it hasn't connected smoothly, kind of like in chunks. So it's like from point A, it's a boom to point B, boom to point C. I'm like, wait. At point C, I'm kind of like, wait, how did we get here? So then I have to go back to point B and be like, oh, okay. But like, where's the transition? Do you know what I mean? Anyways, it's late. I am done with the second one. I will probably give this 3.5 stars. It's not bad. I will keep reading this series. I think I'm just all fantasied out. But I'm still in a mood for fantasy. So I think for this simple fantasy, I'm out. I'm like over it. I need some more action.
Freezing. My nose is pink. It is freezing in here. I'm actually gonna get out of it here and go for a drive and sit in my car heater. And I can't even warm this place up because people get sweaty and they're training and they need the cold. So let's talk about the Dare. It's an average book. It is a YA. I don't think I'm a YA fan. So finding that this book about high school seniors, they do this pranks on each other, like dares pretty much, and there's a bunch of them like friends, and then and it's a small town as well, and so one of their friends dies. And I'm just trying not to give you too much away if you are trying to read about it, because even at the back, it doesn't really say too much. It's kind of like, oh, if you dare, take the dare, pretty much. I'm like freezing right now, sauce. So one of the friends dies and it snowballs, so they gotta keep the secret together. And you know, usually there's always one person that lose their stuff and they can't hold this dark secret of the friend. And there's actually a little plot twist in the end. I was actually a bit bored. I think I'm more of a psychological thriller kind of girl. This is a YA and it would suit a YA person. So I think it would suit, like, if you're like 17 or something and you were mysteries, you would probably enjoy this because it's not too complicated. It's pretty basic. It's a conversation between 17-year-olds. So to me, it's kind of like, and I think because I'm in the mood for fantasy, but I read this as a breakup fantasy kind of line because I was getting bored with the fantasies that I was reading. The thing that not only that it felt like I was talking to a 17-year-old reading this, kind of like dragged on. It's like, no, you said it. No, you said it. No, it's like, you know, a couple that are like, I love you too. You hang up the phone. No, you hang up the phone. No, you hang up first. This is what it felt like this with this book. And I kept looking how many pages I have left. Don't get me wrong. Remember, if you like YA, you're probably gonna like this. But to me, it was a little bit too plain. And the thing is, I'm trying to find this page. The thing is, on the last page, like here we have the last page, and I thought, oh dang, she like literally like on the last like paragraph. This is what happened. The explanation for the whole book that we've been reading for the last 335 pages. It summarizes everything in one paragraph and then boom, cut, done. And I flipped the page and acknowledgements. I was literally reading and I flipped it and I was like, oh, it's done. So she kind of cut it abruptly. I don't know if it's the kind of author she is, because that's the only first the only book I read from Natasha Preston, but at the back she has plenty of other books out. Maybe that's just her style. I know some authors have their own style of ending the story, and sometimes they summarize it with just like, this is the plot, this is why, and boom, done. So this is kind of what she did here, kind of let us hang to reflect back on the last paragraph. But I'm like, one paragraph pretty much, let's say a page, to summarize the whole book. It's either the book could have been smaller or maybe give a little bit more explanation. Just felt like it could use maybe, like, I don't know, 10 pages at least, not like one or half a page. So for this one, honestly, I think I'll give it like 2.5 star. Oh, I've never given anything lower than a 3 star. I either DNF it, or it's just not for me personally. It's not like it's a bad book. It's just I personally didn't enjoy it. It was a little bit too plain for me, too boring. But again, if you are a youngster, if you're like 17 years old getting into mysteries, you might enjoy this. It would be, for my 17-year-old self, I would like this. For my 30 plus something self, I find it a bit too plain. But I'm not the target audience. YA. Okay? All right, we're moving on to the next one. Yeah, sweet.
No. I want to read something. It's so funny. So, it says here, lust is not the same as love, said the mirror. I know the difference. And then it says, who says she cannot lust for me and love me? And mirror says, love is learned. You keep saying that, and yet no one has learned to love me. And you have learned to love no one. She can learn to love me while she lusts. And it said, you will have to do more than of her if you want her to love you. My God, what a mess. And then, oh, it says here, true love. Who needs it? You do, idiot. She's right, you know. No one asked you. You posted the question. She answered it. It was hypothetical. Oh my God. Funny. Here's another one. You're beautiful. Excuse me? I said you look beautiful. Why do you seem so angry about it? I'm not. I told you, you're beautiful. Be grateful. F you. Who hurt you? What do you mean? That's funny. I have completed The Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair, and I really enjoyed it. It is a very spicy book. Did not expect it to be that spicy. It is a fairy tale retelling. I feel like a mixture of Beauty and the Beast, and I feel like the Seven Brothers are the Seven Dwarfs, and I feel it's like little bits and pieces of many fairy tales, but primarily it is Beauty and the Beast. The thing that I enjoyed in the book, it's funny. It's actually the banter between the two, and the banter between like the Beast and the Mirror, and um like the servants and stuff, is freaking hilarious. Yeah, the little bits and bobs. Another thing I really enjoyed, and I was actually talking to my friend about it, about putting more artwork in adult books, and this book delivered. The artwork is beautiful. We have some pieces here, and I want to show you. For example, that's another one here as well. Look how beautiful that is. Just black and white. It doesn't have to be colorful, but especially in fantasy books, it helps to imagine a story and imagine the characters. Another thing, if you do give it a go, I didn't realize this until almost halfway through, but the chapter is POV from the Beast and the girl. And the way you know who is actually talking is when the chapter begins. See how there's little vine of roses here? That's a girl speaking. So that's POV from the girl. And then if you see, I'll show you quickly here. Ooh, is that it? No, that's a girl too. And then if you see this vine right here where there's no roses, that's the guy. So that's how you know it comes from. 'Cause sometimes I'll be like, what is she talking about? And then I'm like, oh wait, that's the guy, like halfway through the chapter. Sorry guys, just woke up. So I do give this book 4.5 star. It's just the 5-star has to really knock me out of the park. But if you don't want to read a fantasy like a fantasy series, and you just want like a fantasy like very spicy romance, you can read this, because pretty much that it's also kind of like, like Beauty and the Beast, like, they don't like each other, they hate each other, she's a captive, and then they fall in love out of like, I hate you, and then they still together, that kind of thing. So it's kind of like what many fantasy books start off with, enemies to lovers. That's pretty much it for me. So that's done with this one for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to summarize it here, because I do have an extra day to read, but I am very busy. I'm not sure if I'm going to complete anything, but that is it for this one today. To show you, usually when I'm done with the book, I stamp it. So we're gonna do this. I have my little embroider page. Hard to do with one hand. There we go. Then we can put it back. Where is it? Hey. So I literally finished this in one sitting. Sat down, I read it, the whole thing, and it is like 380 pages. I'm a big Frida McFadden fan. Some people hate her, some people love her. I love her writing. This book wasn't like the greatest, but I still enjoyed it. I like that they showed the plot side from different characters. It wasn't a big twist. I feel like the first and the second, the housemaid and the housemaid's secret, a little bit entertaining than this one, but I didn't mind. So the third one, The Housemaid is Watching. You can totally read this. Ooh. Sorry guys, I forgot to actually finish my video because someone was calling me and I had to answer. And then today I was driving and totally forgot that I actually never completed it. So Housemaid Watching, I really enjoyed it. Not the most exciting book out of all, like, was it 9 or 10 books that I read of hers, but I still enjoyed it. So I probably give it about 3.5 stars. So I would still recommend it to watch it. Still Never Lie is my top one. And that was the last book that I've read for this challenge. So how many is it? 4 or 5 books that, hold on. Okay. I looked back at my notes. 5 books we read in a week. And I am a mum. I have a family to take care of. I work full-time. I actually run a small business full-time, and I'm studying part-time. Most of the time I wake up to read my books in the morning. So I wake up at 6 a.m. and the first about 45 minutes I take for myself to read. Then I read in between, like school pickup, like you're seeing, on my lunch breaks. So whenever I pick up my book to read rather than sitting on the phone and scrolling through social media, which I still do. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I don't do that at all. But if you're finding that you don't have time to read, you will find time when you need to. I still find time to do my workouts. I still find time to take care of myself and go for my walks and read, because it helps right here and keep the imagination flowing, kind of switch off from the world. So that's what we did so far. I hope you enjoyed, and let's see where the next read takes us. Thanks guys, see ya.